Well, thank you for joining us. This is the LWN Get to Know series, and we are so very grateful that you're taking time to come and join us this evening. We have a fantastic show this evening. We are talking about autism, and we're talking about how autism is a gift, not a curse, not a situation where it's a problem or that you're disabled or you're handicapped because you have autism, but actually that it's a gift, and it's got uh, different faucets that different people respond in different ways. But what we're going to do is we're going to learn from Richard Fay this evening. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Richard. I call him my autistic champion because he is also known as the autistic champion, and he is an autism advocate. He also is an entrepreneur, a property investor, and a business group builder. He's also an autistic business and life coach. So he helps people in business as well as in life to learn how to work within the realm of being autistic. And he's also an author and he's a speaker as well. He has numerous goals for his life and he plans to become an expert in his field. And it's about showing people how it's possible to have a new, like, what's the best word here for? Basically, step outside the stereotype and enjoy life and learn how to cope with the conditions and function within a higher quality of lifestyle. So Richard understands that a certain percentage of people won't be able to do what he's done, but I just have to say, Richard, I'm very, very proud of you for what you do. You through education and loving and a compassionate support based plan to make a huge impact in society. And I am so glad that you're here. We are broadcasting live from Sarasota, Florida, and try to remember the name of the town again. Tell us, Richard. You live.
Right. I live near a place called Pontypridd, which is about 20 minutes past Cardiff in Wales, UK. It's nice to be here. Nice to see Shirley and Robert Brooke is on. So it's good to be Robert, my friend. I struggled at school because when I was at school, no one knew what ASD was. No one knew what Asperger's was. They just didn't know. And I was the one they put at the back of the class. I wouldn't speak unless I was asked a direct question, and I would sort of hide away. As it said in my book, and you've probably seen parts of my book or heard about parts of them.
Well, I've known you for I think it's about 2 years now, and we did a broadcast previously, and that was a great broadcast. I should, resurrect that one and put it back out there again because that was really awesome. But I met you in a book writing course. That was, gosh, last year around, I want to say June. Is that correct?
I think it's before. I thought it's May, June, July-ish.
Yes. Now, you wrote a book as a result of that. I'm still working on mine, but you wrote a book.
It's out there. It should be able to get on Kindle, and you should be able to get Amazon to print a book. It should say the Life and Struggles of Autistic Champion.
Life of an Autistic Champion.
When I was doing it with help, obviously, because I'm never passed English, but again, pretty good at writing sentences. I sort of overcome a bit of that, not brilliant with my punctuation. So I use Grammarly, that helps. And so that people didn't realise what it meant when the chapter was waiting for the school bells to ring, which was basically every end of lesson, breaks I hide, or at lunch breaks when I knew I was going to be at the annex classrooms, I would hide in the panel beater place and learn how to do things and spray and do other things that the other kids didn't do, and just hide myself away. And mum was out, and I got in. She was a part-time teacher. I could watch what I wanted to watch, but she didn't want me to watch.
Well, I'd like for you to tell us because you did coin that phrase, and I used it for tonight's title for the broadcast, and that autism is a gift and it's not a curse. And so I'd like you to explain why you feel that autism is a gift and it's not something that holds you back or that makes you different than anybody else. Tell us about that, Richard.
Well, I think it's a gift. I have their photographic memory, which people, it is, people call me a global satellite navigation tool when without using it, because I seem to, even if I go wrong, I always find my way. There's many different things. I mean, I use most of my left side of the brain. Other people use more side of the right side of the brain, part of the left. And we're very analytical. We can see patterns of behaviors. Like the police are now using people with autism to spot forensic evidential stuff on cyber and all sorts of things, because we see things that normal stereotypicals won't see.
So
And
you got really tapped into a sixth sense. Would that be correct?
yeah, sometimes I've had premonitions, or I said and stated things, and it happened within the exact time span I said. Sort of
So
freaks me out a bit.
clairvoyant?
Can be sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's really awesome.
I'm becoming more consciously aware now and awake, spotting people, the right people to be with, the right people not to be with. I think I like people to earn my trust now. I give a basic level of trust. Well, if that's broken, that's it. You ain't coming anywhere near me again. I'm now in a relationship.
Well, people can let us down, can't they? You know, we put a lot of faith in people, and then when it's time that we really need them, they're not there for us.
Well, I had a really rough time because for 10 years I was the carer to my dad, Parkinson's, and my mum had Alzheimer's. She had to go in the home. I wasn't allowed to look after her. But I went in, 2 days in 18 months and 39 days. Spent every day with him, had to care, and that was really, really hard, having three mental health disorders and my autism on top. And
Well, I wanted to do this before we go much further. I wanted to, number one, thank all the viewers that are taking time to join us this evening. We really appreciate that. I've been looking forward to this interview so that we can learn and we can grow as a result of listening to Richard. Now, what I also wanted to do is offer the viewers the opportunity to put questions into the comments. And do you have a question for Richard? And shortly, we'll come back to these questions and Richard will answer those questions. So if you'd like to know maybe a little bit more about him or, just have any general question, just let's go ahead, put them in the comments and we'll address those questions shortly.
yeah,
Now, I wanted to ask you, what influenced you to want to become an advocate for autism?
it's I I've learned a lot of things. Being a carer, I learned a lot of things. I didn't think I was strong as I am. Didn't think I was capable as I am, but I learned a lot. I went from being very selfish and very egotistical to having that basically bashed out of me. It felt like going through a round with Tyson Fury, that going through that. I knew everything about meds and everything at the time, and I had to tell hospital staff that sometimes it's like I had to memorize this in very stressful situations. I decided to do a lot of personal development. I like to learn most then I read books, no, listen to books basically,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I can read, but if it's something that I'm really interested in, and most people with autism, if they're really, really interested in it, they can read a book in a day.
Right. Right.
You know,
That's like speed reading then.
but it has to be something
Well,
that's
what prompted you to decide that you were going to make a stand? And one of the things I wanted to know is that when was your first live broadcast, and how did that make you feel when you did that first broadcast?
oh my god. I'll tell you a little bit about that. I went to a theatre speakers course with Mark Harvey, who's the head of the Property Tribe, and he challenged me to do some Facebook Lives. I looked at my first one, and it wasn't very good. Second and third one's a lot better. I seem to just take to it like a duck to water. Forgive the pun. It's a case of I've had different subjects, and I did some videos about that. And then he said, do it for 30 days. I said, why not do 1,000? Well, probably near 500, 600 now. And I haven't done for a while because I want to get a green screen. I want to get my proper vlog streaming HD cameras and all the gear. I want to do lots, spend 2 days doing stuff for my entrepreneurial stuff, stuff for my staff, and then stream it. And I've got people that to do social media marketing for me. So it's really great.
That's really awesome. I mean, you're really trying to make a big impact in the community with respect to autism and
big wake up. Yeah, big wake up for me is to realise that I drifted through life. For 51 years, I didn't have to worry about anything. I could go work. I had everything. If I got into any spot of difficulty, it was doubtful for me. I was like wrapped up in Cornwall, and then I lose both my parents in the last 5 years. In a few days, it'll be the 3rd anniversary of my mum passing away. That's going to be a really rough day for me. It's 5 years since my dad, and my dad was my everything. I love my mum, right? I've given her for a lot of things. She could have got me diagnosed a lot sooner. But no resentment. I've released her and let her go. I've forgiven her for that. And had to change my mindset on that one. Because I was bitter for a long time.
So what was that first video about? And so obviously it brought up a lot of stuff for you.
First one I did wasn't about anything to do with autism at all. It was about health and fitness. And then it's other things is always something that I was interested in.
So you're into physical exercise then. Do you go to the gym?
At the moment, I'm about to get back into that. I'm about to start doing isogenics and getting fit.
Yeah.
And I got sort of more mindset because I can do the palm of your hand sort of portions and stuff. But my brain, after eating it, tells me it's not enough. So when my emotions and my vibe is low, I get, let's just say, one night recently, I had a set menu for 4 people from Chinese, and I ate it all myself. And that's not good. I can do that because I can be an emotional eater, so I've really got to work on that. That's the next challenge, really. But no, I wanted to make a difference, and I met a couple of people and started sort of unofficially peer mentoring because I used to go to a place called the Bristol Autistic Spectrum Service.
Okay.
And I've sort of helped reform the problem-solving group, and I love that, and helping others. So that helped me give me ideas. So that was amazing, and half a name gave me my title.
Well, you've done a lot of videos since then. You've got a Facebook group, I understand, as well.
Yeah, that's going to temporarily soon go off for a while, and it's going to be redone, revamped, new features. Okay. Manny's helping with that. And it's going to help me with my website for autisticchampion.com, where people can book me to coach. Well, I was thinking of doing a Zoom course with a number of people. So it's like similar to what we did with the writers course, but much more. 5 sessions, 3 days a week. And obviously I'll be earning income for doing that. It's like not free. I need to pay my bills, right?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I think that's a great goal, is to try and help people, to step outside of that box and integrate themselves as best that they can, because of course it's difficult for me to understand because, I don't have autism, but I can understand being shy. I can understand being nervous and being around people sometimes. I certainly felt that.
People notice if you're seriously non-verbal because you act up so much that it's noticeable, right?
Right. So there's different. Tell us about the different
Then
types.
it's eye contact. So I know you, so my eye contact, that's good. I learned if I go talk to financiers or people who get invest with me,
Right.
I can't be looking at them, talking to them, and then like go like that. You know, I can't turn away and it's like be rude. So I've had to visibly work at that. It's hard because I suffer from anxiety. I'm not medicated for depression, anxiety, or panic attack at the moment. I have had some low things. Adam helps me sometimes. He can tell in the way I write things if something's wrong, and he'll give me a call. Thank you, Adam Chelton, for that. And other people know me, including my partner, does that as well. She'll pick up on if something's wrong.
Well, I consider you a leader, and somebody that, if it really fits into the whole get to know a broadcast, which is to be making a difference, a positive impact in our communities. And so what I'd like you to do is tell me, how do you define leadership? Because I consider you a leader, and I just want to know what you think of a leader, and what makes a good leader.
Well, there's so many things that's been written on it. There's a few things. Someone who, as my dad would say, walks the walk and does the talk. That's both things. Someone who does what they say, leads by example.
Yes.
Hopefully, has good morals and good
the,
ethics.
the say what you mean and mean what you say thing.
And it's like with faith, it says, treat others as you would like to be treated yourself.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, that's a good trait.
that's, I think, a good leader is.
Yes.
I've had people I worked with already from Bristol, and one is now doing 2 network marketing opportunities. We'd never done it before if I hadn't introduced that. They were so shy they would hardly talk to anyone. The funny story is that first I thought they were a stalker because they said to me, I said hello, and the first thing they said to me is, "I follow you on Facebook." It's like, excuse me, I follow you on Facebook. Okay, but it's also a lot of things, and other people have as well. But she's gone from being
So
much shyer to being able to socially interact a lot better. So social interaction dysfunction to social integration is what I call it.
okay.
She's doing a lot more activities. She's doing a lot more volunteering as well. She's happier, and she's trying to make something of herself, and she wouldn't have done that before. And she said it's mainly down to me, so I know I can help people. No, I
Yes.
haven't. I haven't got the paperwork or the qualifications yet, but I got to do those. I got to get the diplomas right. I got
Hmm.
to do an NLP practitioner's course. I got to do a business coaching diploma and the other ones. I just got to find the courses. But if I don't know something, I refer to
Hmm.
people who are more qualified.
Exactly. And that's surrounding yourself with people that you can learn and grow from.
Yeah,
And
that's absolutely right.
what I was going to say is that, as you, because you've been on social media for a few years now, and
Well,
what does it feel like,
I've only really,
when, because you get the friend requests, and so you're getting attention, and that's something that isn't necessarily high on the list of people with autism, right?
in my case, as I'm a high functioning autistic, I quite like attention.
Oh, okay, excellent.
I like the right attention, not the wrong attention. Right. I've learned that there's a lot of things that come up like, watch my videos. I just block them. It's now if there's not enough pictures, there's not enough posts going back. I learned how to spot a fake profile, delete, block.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those out there.
There's a lot of things. People have been teaching me stuff, right? Yeah, I got in a couple of situations which weren't great before. So
Well, it
it's
happens. It's
shocked.
a learning process out there in the social media world, because there's a lot of people out there that have nothing better to do than to give people a hard time. But, everybody has whatever motivates them. But I know that when people are making a positive impact, they're doing the right things, that can bring people that want to try and, rock your world and throw you off, base. And I just feel like, you're dealing with the autism in a very productive and successful manner. And so you hope to be able to have a business where you're out there and you're helping other people.
I
Um,
I got three aims:
okay.
be top of the world in entrepreneurship, and obviously, and take companies that are virtually out of existence and make them e-commerce giants. That's what I want to do,
Hmm.
to show that people like me can do that. I want to be number one in philanthropy. And I've talked to you about my social support revolution idea, right? And that'll be the
I think so.
non-for-profit.
I think so. I don't
And
have a photographic memory like you, though.
the third one is my Autistic Champion stuff. And I've been
Yes.
talking to the Department of Work and Pensions and Employment, and they want to get involved. Me setting up initially 3 evenings in 3 different cities:
Hmm.
Autistic Champion, Disability, and Autistic Business Networking evenings. The idea behind that is to get people in front of prospective employers, whether it's part-time or full-time, so that they can see what they're real people, and
Well,
they
I just want to put this comment up.
can learn about.
I wanted to put this comment up. A mutual friend of ours, such a dynamic person as well, Shirley Connolly, and a
Well, that means so much to me. Thank you, Shirley. That really means a lot to me.
yes, you've come a long way. I really have seen you come a long way as myself. And Shirley is a well-known author. I think 15 books or something to this effect right now. And I just want to let
Would
Shirley
she like?
know because
Yeah. Would
Shirley's
she like?
Shirley's going through some stuff right now, and I just want her to know that we do care and love you so very much, Shirley. And I very much appreciate the fact that you came on. The LWN Foundation appreciates you.
She
We've
can
got
DM
the
me
other Facebook page,
anytime, Stephen. She can DM me anytime she wants to talk. Private
and
message.
there you are. It is nice to see you as well, Shirley. And I just wanted to see D. Lynn says hello. Thank you for joining us.
She's
And
amazing. She's a lovely lady.
then we have Robert Brooker, our great friend from. I'm gonna try and do this because I'm trying to get ready for this. Tirana.
Robert's
It's
amazing.
He's from Tirana, not Toronto. Tirana,
I,
apparently.
I used to love his Black Cat smoking thing.
Yeah.
He knows what I'm on. I said he ought to do that series.
Well, and I just
I have an idea of a book, and I
okay,
can't sleep, or AC Man, like autistic superhero, but it to
okay.
be one of the Avengers. So you have an autistic Avenger in the Avengers, and get that and sell film rights, and that'd be nice. But
That sounds very
the
cool.
idea.
Well, you're a dynamic thinker, obviously, and you're taking your thoughts and you're putting them into action, and that's really the key. There is, you can have thoughts, but until you take action on them, nothing's going to happen. And that's where you've done so darn well is just to step outside that box, as I call it, that stereotype, and just show that it
I'm
doesn't
so
matter.
far out of the box. So far out of the box. They can't even box me.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it. And you're an inspiration to so many people. I know that you are. And that's why I wanted to have you on this evening and have you share with that, or with us, I should say. Um,
I'm also campaigning for in England, and I said it to DWP today. We shouldn't have an Autism Act linked with the Disabilities and Equalities Act. We
mhm.
should have a separate act. And there's been things. Do you believe? I've heard of someone whose line manager told them they didn't get a promotion because they have Asperger's because they don't act like a human being.
Mhm.
So I'm advising to take them legally to get a barrister taken to the High Court. I think that companies who do that should be fined up to 10% of their turnover. We got to stamp this out, and there's got to be things rights all the way through everything in society. And if someone breaches it or someone infringes on someone with autism's rights,
Mhm.
then there has to be consequences for that. but
certainly.
it's going to be a hard struggle to get them to do a separate bill. But
Okay, so you're
hopefully
trying
one
to
day.
pass some legislation there in the UK, is what it sounds like you're
I'm
working
hoping
on.
to encourage it. I'm hoping to encourage it.
Yes. And that very much is an advocate. That actually is an activist when you take that position to try and affect some change. And so, that's what I think is important when we have something that's so passionate, that we're so passionate about, and particularly obviously helping other people is that passion. Yes, activism is important because we can initiate change in our society
Uh,
to make it a better situation for people.
Actually, even Jesus Christ was an activist.
Yes, absolutely. He certainly is.
If you think about the things. I believe in the universal laws of attraction. I believe in him. I did the psalmist prayers and stuff. I've seen unusual things happen.
Hmm.
Things that shouldn't have happened that happened. I feel that even though I'm not the best pupil, I'm a naughty schoolboy sort of thing half the time. He still loves me, and I still think he's letting me in. Things are going to happen. Doors are going to hope. Doors are going to be opened. Unusual doors are going to be opened. Doors that are closed in my face will be opened. It's just a matter of time. It's all going
Well,
to happen.
and I wanted to remind all the viewers, I know that we have a few viewers watching, and so what I'd like to ask you again, if you have a question for Richard Fay, you can certainly ask it while we're doing this live broadcast. If it's something that you want to ask him, personally, and don't really feel like putting it out there,
They
that's
can,
understandable too.
they can probably message me on Messenger. No
And
problem
that's
with that.
yes, and that's Messenger and on Facebook, and that's Richard
What,
Fay,
what's that?
and
Or what's that? Some of the people who are watching
WhatsApp.
actually have my are on my Messenger list anyway.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
So
or yeah, it's
I want you to go back though and tell us about your book. You've got at least one book, if not two. Is that correct?
no, I go work on a second one. I
You're
sort of
okay.
stalled on that. I had a few issues I've been working through.
Okay.
I had a period where I sort of stood back from everything because I didn't want. I just needed to get self.
Well, now, if someone had autism and they're watching this broadcast, what advice would you give to them?
Well, if you're trying to extend your comfort zones, do it very slowly. Because when I work with people, I find out what their issues are, and I task them gradually. I'll get them moving little bits, not massive. If they feel they can do a lot more, they can do a lot more. But it's like the idea is to push their trigger points further away so they're able to cope with more.
Hmm.
Um, also, if you've got professionals and people who are working with you and therapists and stuff, also you work with them. Don't stop working with them. I don't advocate just doing that because you're working with me, right? Or anyone else like me. They're there for a reason, right?
Exactly.
I
Yes.
need, I need them. It took me a long time. I did guided self help, which is looking at the issue, the behavior, and adding things or changing things a bit to be able to manage and bring down your anxiety before it becomes have a big attack or you panic and calm yourself a bit. So I've learned things like that, and it took me a long time to trust people who did that sort of thing
Sure.
because of those are things they have to report, right? And sometimes I feel that that is a hindrance because if you say you get harm yourself, they got to report it. But I know I'm a great believer in strong patient and confidentiality, right?
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. When you're talking about medical situations, there is confidentiality, and I'm familiar with that, having been in the medical records industry for um, 15 years. Absolutely confidentiality, and so you have to be able to trust that person,
Yeah, and
that
it
they're
takes
not
me
going to share
a long
that.
time. Someone in that sort of roles, it takes me a while to trust them,
Kind of,
right?
kind of like Las Vegas. What happens here stays here thing. It doesn't go anywhere else.
Well, I like to go to Las Vegas because I will royally go on the blackjack table and pull Donald Trump's trousers down.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, I've been, yeah, a long time ago. I don't even know that it still exists. It's that Trump Plaza in New Jersey.
I'm a very, very good blackjack player.
All right. One of these days, we're going to have to play some blackjack. That's not my favorite game. My favorite game has got to be roulette because I could go a long ways on 20
Tell
bucks
you
or
what,
something.
I'll do you a favour. We only pay for dimes and nickels, so you don't lose too
Oh,
much.
there you go. Okay, then that sounds like my kind of game of blackjack for sure. That's really awesome, and I'm sure that because of your photographic memory, it certainly gives you an advantage of playing cards. Now, doesn't that?
Well, it used to be 1 in 12. You know, if you had two aces, you split them, double or treble them up, take evens because chances of drawing their picture card and beating you is so high. Now they play with 8 packs of cards. Their odds are even more, but I've already worked those out.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do, yeah, that's awesome. I'll look forward sometime to. I'm really looking forward to meeting you personally. We talked about that prior to the show,
And you said something
and
about London, didn't you, at some point?
oh, I plan to travel. It's on my
When
to-do
you come
list.
to you have to let me know in plenty of time so I can book accommodation and we can meet up.
That will be a plan. I'll absolutely be coming there at some point in the future. I have no doubt. I look forward to doing some traveling and meeting, the viewers, as well as the friends, close friends that I've made as a result of the social media. And I just got to say thank you to Facebook as well. If it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't actually have this relationship with you. And so that's what's really awesome is that a platform that we can get out there and meet people. You like that
It's
about Facebook?
Yeah, it's true, but you know what? I still think we would have met anyway,
Div-
somehow.
divine intervention has a way of manifesting itself, and I am so grateful and I'm blessed by getting to know you. And this is the second time that we've talked uh, on a live broadcast, and I just got to say thank you. I'm so proud of you.
At times I can be very super focused. Other times I can be, got dark hair, right? But I can be a bit blonde sometimes. Um, Forgive me, ladies who are blonde. Hello, Terry Little. You know what, Terry? Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl next year. He's not going like that. He's
Terry
not.
Little is with
He,
us as well. Thank you.
he's not a Seahawks fan. They just
No.
made a lot of good signings. We're going to do the Ravens, Terry.
Well, we really appreciate everybody that's taking time to come and join us this evening. Now, you have a book, and we're trying to recall the name, The Life of an Autistic Champion. Is that correct?
The Life and Struggles of Autistic Champion is on Amazon shopping. Should be able to get up. You can have it for free on Kindle, but
Uh-huh.
I want to actually make money, but it's $17 otherwise, and I get half of that, or just over half, and they'll print it out and send it to you. I believe that's the way
That's
they do
awesome.
it.
That's awesome. I know
Um,
you've got more coming down the pike for us.
oh
Great
yeah,
books for people to read that like to understand a little bit more about autism and what it's like to live with autism. And I just am so grateful that you're, sharing your message of hope with
Terry,
people.
Terry said, "Laugh out loud, no Seahawks." Terry,
Okay, let's see some.
they are going to kick some Ravens backside next year.
Yes, he
I love
says no Seahawks. They might have been world champions once, but not okay.
Yeah, they almost won it back to back.
I,
And Wilson decided not to throw it.
I mean, I lived
But
in Seattle for 10 years, and of
I
course,
love Seahawks.
I just
I started in the 80s.
I'm just cheering for the winner, right? I don't really have such favorites or anything like that anymore.
Seahawks are my team, Terry. They always will be, forever.
Yes, exactly. And I see that Robert Brooker he's not sure about on this end, but Facebook was part of the vehicle that introduced him to the path that led to all of us. And it's such a great connection to be able to have that. It really is. I also wanted to acknowledge Loy Costa Mishak from Tanzania. That's so awesome. Thank you so very much for joining.
It's
We,
nice to know I got people inspiring people in Africa.
I tell
You
you,
know,
we're inspiring
I,
people all over the world
I,
tonight.
I want to go to Kenya to. I want to go and see the Serengeti and the big cats because that's a nickname of mine is Tiger because I love big cats, right?
Oh yeah.
I like to go to Tabletop Mountain and see South Africa. There's certain countries I would like to go to. There's certain countries I'm not sure about, but maybe the world calm down and people will get less angry by the time I go and see them, right?
Well, I love cats too. We've got the big cat habitat right out here. I'm looking forward to going out there and doing an interview with the owners. It's a great place.
In Bristol,
Now, I want to
the
go to
zoo.
Africa as well, Loy.
Yeah,
So I do plan to go there, and I do have a friend there that runs safaris and stuff like that. So I can get us fixed up. I'm sure we'll go out there and see some real lions. That well, that aren't in a cage,
you
right?
know, I used to work at Bristol Zoo, and they made so much money in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. King George V drive around there in a Rolls Royce when it opened in 1929. And they got the first part of their safari park, and they're spending another 50 million on the second half. And they got white tigers, Bengals, they got all the different tigers and lions and what else out there, and the big animals. All the big animals are out there now in good, healthy enclosures, right? So I just love that. I love the
Yes.
tigers. I've always had a special affection for white tigers.
Yes, we have a couple here actually, as a matter of fact, over at
Yes,
the
they're
sanctuary.
so gorgeous. Snow leopards, pumas, cheetahs.
It's wildlife. It's being out in nature, and of course, well, the LWN is all about healing through nature and healing through connection.
When I was younger, I was quite a prolific bird watcher as well, ornithologist. I used to be a leader in the Young Ornithologist Club, or sub
Ah,
leader.
that's so very cool. Very cool. Well, I know that nature's important to you, and I know that for everybody, it's a great way to get some peace and serenity, some connection to the creation around us. I love listening to the birds.
Weather, I've been getting too much of it lately.
Too much. Is it ever too
28
much in nature? I don't know.
days of rain. If it gone to 40 days, I think the second coming was coming, right?
You never know. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up. But what I want you to do is I want you to tell the viewers, what final thoughts that you might have, and how you think that there again. I'm going to go back to if you happen to know somebody that does have autism, what good advice, or we know somebody, or we have it.
Well,
What advice would you give them?
there are many websites, and there's wealth of information. Google leads to links and stuff. Do research. If you suspect someone, people with dyslexia or autistic, they're on the spectrum, right? You must
Hmm.
know people with dyslexia. There's people with dyspraxia, like
Right,
Adam, right?
like
There's
Adam.
people with OCD, that's on the spectrum.
Yes.
There's bipolar can be on the spectrum. There's loads of things. So do your research. I mean, in this day and age, after 31 years of knowing what it's about, there's still too much ignorance. These people just go on Google, find out information, buy books, read up on it, because you know, there are far more many autistic people who are undiagnosed than anyone can recognize.
There
You
is,
know,
and it's the numbers are going up, and I
and the
know that
thing,
it has something to do with some of the medications. I mean, I just on the way over here, I was hearing links to some of the products, like lipstick, is what I heard. Now I haven't done any research, so don't hold me to this. All right,
my,
but
mine, I know where my link was from. My
tell us.
blood, my mum's blood was rare. Mine wasn't. I was poisoned in the room. I was brought back 3 times when I was born. Lost half my body weight. There's a lot of things that happened. Instead of doing blood transfusions, they wash the blood inside. So it's like what they call blood washing, blood infusions.
Okay,
And my uncle, who's quite a senior medic, just retired, reckons that was part of the reason.
so I
I'm not
want to
judging.
acknowledge Robert. Yeah,
So
thank
many
you for
reasons.
clarifying that. So there's things that have been happening in our society, or that happened when we were in the womb, apparently. that have created this situation. But you're an example of how it's not necessarily a curse, and it's all about the thinking. It's all about how we perceive things, and it's about
Exactly.
overcoming some of the stereotype stuff, and and recognizing that with the right thinking, the right support, the ability to surround yourself with people that care and love for you, that life can be pretty darn enjoyable, right,
Yeah.
Richard?
Well, you talk about it, don't you, Stephen? Because I've seen your lives in the morning. You talk
Yes.
about changing your thought patterns. We can do that as
Yeah.
autistics, right? There's
Yes.
many who want to get on and achieve, and people struggle at work. I mean, there's standard reasonable adjustment, but there's so much more that can be done, and it sometimes has to be tailor made. Well, if you do that for that employee and you get the rest of the staff training and you get the right culture in the workplace, there's no reason why people shouldn't flourish. There's no reason why normal people and autistic people shouldn't be the best of buddies, right?
Exactly. It's about routines, it's about thinking. Everything starts with that thought. But then it takes, like you've done, implementing that action plan, doing something about it, and taking risks, overcoming your fears, and just doing the best that you can with what we got. I mean,
Well, when my parents died, I had three choices.
mhm.
One, I had to learn by the time I was 20 because I didn't have to do it when I was younger in the 2 year period. So immense learnings. The other was I didn't have a plan B. Now, inheritance then again lasted so long and didn't last as long as I would like, but I did spend an awful lot of money on personal development, right?
Mhm.
Because I wanted to do something. And I had to change my mindset. I had to decide what I wanted, some things I wanted to do, some things I weren't sure about, some things I've walked into, some things have opened themselves to me, right? This is how it happened for me. And I've always been a very ambitious person.
So Robert Shallow has a question though, and I had asked the viewers to tell us if they had questions and put them in the comments. Now, Robert Shallow wants to know, what if he decided to surround himself with positive people and letting go of all the dead weight? How would that impact him? How would that be a benefit
Uh,
for him?
it can help um, him have a much better outlook on things. If there's positive people around Robert and they help you and they do their research and they understand, you know, it's the support. And then if you want to change things, then you have to write down what your outcomes are, your goals, steps to do it. Talk to the positive people, surround yourself with people who are already doing what you want to do, and you've got to decide yourself. You might have suffer from anxiety, so it's it's managing your anxiety, learning to do that, but knowing that it's infinitely better on the other side if you put the work in, and life will be better. Don't be a bit. I don't like people who like to just wallow in. Oh, I'm autistic. I don't like it. I wish I could be cured. If you give me $100 billion tomorrow to take a pill, I'll take the $100 billion, but I'd shove the pill where the sun don't shine, matey, because I would not be me without my autism. Literally, I would not be me. I'll be like the android on the Robertsons Lost in Space, right?
Mm,
I wouldn't be me.
danger,
It's my
danger.
very fabric of who I am. It's what makes me me. It's like I don't like people who try to literally. It's like they want to see a cure. They want to see a cure. No one should be doing medical science to try to cure autism or anything else like that. God created all these things to make the world more diverse, right? To make the world a beautiful place. He didn't do it to say, all right, or I put this curse on you, so this they got to find a cure for it. No, they did not. Absolutely not. And it's offensive when people think that way.
It is. It is
I
that they think
feel
it's the person. You
we
know,
have to be positive, Robert. We have to be positive, Robert.
there's some more comments here. I'll
And
just take a look at that.
we have to rise above everything else. We have to shine and show people our abilities. Some people aren't going to like it because they have to reflect on their inner self, and what they see in us is what they would like to be. And you know what? As my mum used to say, that's tough cheddar. You know, tough. We're not there to do that for them.
No, and Robert's right that there's so many people out there that just need to release the dead weight around them and surround themselves with positive people. And I talk about that.
Yeah, I've
I
been
talk
doing
about
that.
that regularly, and I know that you do. I know I'm in good company because you're my friend, and I get to grow and I get to learn. And
Always,
you know,
Stephen. Always your friend. You know,
yes, I think
when I
life
started,
friends for
when I
real.
started to get to know you in your first instance, I mean, your story and what you've been through. I've been through my struggles. It's been some brutal things. No one wants to. If someone had told me a few years ago I'd be a parent to my parents, I would never believed you. I would have laughed you all down the street, right? But that's exactly what happened. And you know what? That's the biggest blessing ever. I've been thanking God lately for that, even though I was cursing him at the time, right? Because it changed me from being ultra selfish and ultra egotistical to being having less of an ego, being selfish to the point I need to be, while being more selfless. And that's where I am now. And I would not have been there if it hadn't been for that experience. Would I do it again if my dad was here now, knowing what I know and how to deal with it better? If he asked me, hell yeah, straight away. But hopefully, I would have created some of the businesses and stuff and had power teams that could handle it, so I could be a little bit more hands off. But yeah, I still do it without hesitation. My dad was my hero, my rock. He was the one who put me up on not a pedestal. My mum put my brother on a pedestal. Have you never seen the film Golden Charles? That's what it's like living with my
No, I
brother.
have not. No.
You watch that film, it's like what I had to put up with my brother, right? Me and my brother have healed. Me and my brother started to get a relationship. We decided to put the past behind us. So I'm really grateful for that. So that
That's
finally,
important, isn't it?
yeah. Well, you know, it
Release
wasn't
the
his
past.
fault. It's my mum's fault, not his. My dad was always my favourite.
Mm-hmm.
Even with his terrible sense of humor, terrible jokes that you had to laugh at to just stop and tell him more. You know, it's still funny, but you know, it's very wise. You know, when I got a problem now, it's funny how I hear his voice tell me the answer to it. He tells me the answer to it.
Yes.
How do I solve this? Let me think. I know some things how to solve this. Oh, this is how that would do it. It just comes to me.
Shirley's mentioned, and we love you, Shirley, so very much. Thank you for joining. What a fantastic statement, so very true. She loves it when people are themselves instead of being fakes. And oh well, welcome to Mike Chavez too as well. I just wanted to say hello, Mike. He is
Oh,
our live
I have
master.
to thank you, Mike, because I'm still in Live Masters. Sorry, Mike, I haven't done a lot of videos lately. I will do soon. But I've been working on a few projects. I'm working on myself. You've been an inspiration. This was a chap who saw a couple of my videos. I didn't know people in America were seeing them, and he video called me at 2 a.m. in the morning here. We spoke for 2 hours before I was invited into Live Masters. So I
Now,
got a lot to say. Mike Chavez is a great person. He's a brilliant person, and he's very helpful. He's very inspiring.
you know, I
He's
think
a leader himself.
it may have gone back to the Live Masters group where we probably originally really ran across each other's paths. That's a
Yeah,
very real thing. And
Mike's
Mike
a
is
great person.
Yeah, Mike,
My
we'll just
president.
mention, Mike Chavez here, this gentleman, and he is with Live Masters. He is the Live Masters King, and it's a private group that I've been involved with for a number of years, and it's all about doing live video and breaking out of that, fear in a private setting to be able to do answer a question of the day.
Hey, Mike would like to hear this. Remember when I was doing Aspire to Achieve Global TV, my interview show?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know I won? I was the best #1 broadcaster for 3 months in a row. My
Oh,
show hit 30,000 views.
holy cow! That
30,000
is,
views.
you touched a lot of people clearly. And that's what's so awesome. And I just want to go here to Robert again. And he says, what if he started sharing his gifts with the world? What kind of difference can be made?
Oh, Robert, if we all try to impact one person every day, every single one of us, the whole world is impacted. Your gifts, if everyone starts sharing their gifts every day, this world will be a better place. There's no better thing to do. Simple as that, in a nutshell.
That's
And there's
beautiful.
so that's what I would say to that. And you know what your gifts are. And, the thing of your age, if there's youngsters in your neighborhood that may be going down the wrong path, but you could tell your gifts, and if you got some like a trade, and you could teach them, and you could turn them away from that path. What gift you would have given that person? If you could do that and repeat that time after time, how satisfied will you be, Robert?
That,
How
you
satisfied?
know,
How proud
if,
would you be? How happy
if,
and satisfied would you be? Fulfilled.
if we only help one person ever, that's a real win. And I know that, like what I've said so many times, is that when I do my videos, that my videos are for me as much as they are for anybody else, because we were talking earlier about how the routine is so important to,
Oh,
you know,
routines. Sorry. Oh my God,
the,
routines.
the magic word,
Uh,
right?
they're the bugbear for me. It's like I'm getting better at them. If I write everything down, that's great. It's like there are times when I know I got to get up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's like snooze for another 15 minutes. Before I know it, it's 12 o'clock in the day, right? It's like I know I got to get better at that. I'm getting better at my
All
nighttime
right.
routine. I
I'll give you
get
some
better at tracking exercises.
I want to give you
You
some
know,
advice right now. This might work. Okay. Now this isn't my idea. Actually, Mel Robbins, a motivational speaker, she's all over YouTube. And I've been watching her stuff for a long time. She just did a thing about, a group about the best decade ever. She's got a TV show right now. But what she did is, she's an author. Now what she said is, she came up with uh the count five. I don't know what she calls it. The countdown from five, and she goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. And when she's sitting in the bedroom and sleeping, and when she'd woken up, and she counts down and jumps out of bed, gets her feet on the ground, because what it does is that when you're sitting there in bed, yeah, the thought, oh, I just want to just rest a little bit, like just 15 more minutes or something like that. Well, when you do that and you count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off, that changes your thinking and takes you out of the focus of thinking about resting, and triggers you to then do something.
yeah,
And
I'll try that. Another thing I've been trying is people say do a 30-second cold shower. Well, I started doing a 2-minute cold shower. Now I'm up to 5 minutes cold shower, and then I put
mhm,
on the warm off that, right? So for 5 minutes it's dead cold, then I make it warm. I
that's a
do
quick way
that.
to wake up when you get into a cold shower. I have to admit that.
So 5 minutes and then 2 minutes of warm to just warm me up a little bit, and that's it. It's like I do that, and I am getting better, but I got to be more dedicated. I
just
got to tell myself.
just
But
takes
there are
consistency.
Sundays. Sundays, I always have a lie-in on Sunday. That's a
Well,
day where I must have a lie-in, because by that time, if I go OCD at getting stuff done, and times when I should be, I know I'm tired. I know I'm dead tired. Even when I start working part time again, the first time in 14 years, it's like, so I hadn't worked for 14 years. Look,
Right.
it'd be a case of, yeah, I gotta get up because I gotta go to work. This is gonna make things easier. That'd be easy.
Yeah.
When I get
Well,
everything
and
else at the morning routine, then I can work on the nighttime routine. Once I got the nighttime and morning routine minted, up I go.
it is about routine in that stuff and getting a healthy routine, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. I
Oh,
mean,
hello, Elizabeth Lucas is in the house. Hey, Elizabeth.
we do have some comments
You.
here. We'll go to the
She's
comments because I was asking Elizabeth Lucas, welcome so very, very much. We've known Elizabeth as well for a very long time.
she's an awesome woman. She's an amazing woman.
She is an amazing woman. She puts out some really great content. She is also a published author as well. We're so glad that you joined us this morning. This morning, it's this morning somewhere in like Australia.
Oh,
Um,
it's definitely this morning here.
Sends her blessings, and we want you to know that we're so grateful to be your friend as well, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining. I certainly, um,
She
I
talks a
certainly
lot of sense.
appreciate. Yeah,
She
we
talks a
just
lot.
know some great people, and this is what we were talking about earlier. Is the fact that autism is a gift, it's not a curse, and that the fact is that when you surround yourself with positive people, people that will support you, and people that believe in you, and that aren't willing, to stereotype you and just accept you for who you are the kind of people you want to put yourself around, and
I mean,
that's
there's some great autistic artists. There's a guy who's now got an honor at the Queen's list, a 9. It goes and looks at the house of the Parliament, and then goes home miles away and sketches it perfect. Other buildings in London, he just looks at them once, memorizes them, goes back. It's like a masterpiece.
and that's healing through art, and we know others that are out there that very artistic, um and art and nature and all, just pick what you love and then
Music as
do
well.
that.
I have no doubt that Michelangelo was autistic. You look at 6 years to do a Sistine Chapel. You look how
Yeah,
intricate it is. Could only been done by an autistic, right? Leonardo da Vinci, 400 years before the hovercraft helicopter was invented, he invented it. You know,
right.
it's got
The
to be right. It had to be on the spectrum. They reckon that Einstein was autistic.
Well, and most people with autism are super, super intelligent. I mean, just off the chart in intelligence. And so it's about learning how to be able to work with that and then get that out and to be able to share those beautiful seeds of greatness that we have with others, because it is about serving others. At least that's my purpose, is to serve other people. I know that that's your service too,
Yeah,
Richard.
we talked about that. Part of it is like when I do events, Autistic Champion, a big part of it, money would go to autistic groups or disability groups.
Exactly.
I will earn money. My dad had a phrase, and he always said to me, "Just remember, son, there's no such thing as a free lunch."
That's right.
And
Well,
always stuck.
and that's part of the LWN Foundation's goal as well, is to help other nonprofits, particularly the smaller nonprofits, to be able to help other people in so many different ways. But health and wellness being the huge focus, and this really was a health and wellness. It is Health and Wellness Wednesday. And so, that's why we're talking about health and wellness today as well this evening with Richard. And
Yeah,
we really appreciate you. We want you to take care of yourselves, recognize that it's not a curse, that you can get to know people like Richard Fay, who show us that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And we really appreciate you taking time this evening. I know it's very late out there for you. Thank you. God bless
yeah.
you.
You got to shout out the little voice, tell it to shut up. That's what you
Yeah.
got to do. Your little voice. Yeah, those are things I could talk. about a lot of things, but it's just that I've been abused in the street because of the way I looked at somebody. It's I've been spat on because of the way I looked at somebody. Had them arrested though. They got arrested for it because it's assault, right? But it's happened to people all the time, and it's got to stop.
There's some real haters out there, and those situations aren't pleasant for real. But I know that particularly, myself and yourself, we've drawn strength from the painful experiences that we've had in our life, and we've used it for that.
I've had a lot of those. Had so
Yeah.
many of those.
Well, we all can have it, and we've just defined our purpose by using our painful experiences to be the platform to help other people and to serve other people, and that's what was just said. You are a real giver, and we appreciate that. We're kind of running out of time, so what I would like you to do is just give your last thought there, Richard.
That's one big thing. I confused someone the other day because they said, "What if you don't get to the full end of all what you want to do?" Because if I do everything, I change the world for people with autism and disabilities, right? And I just change the world fundamentally as well. But I confused them because they said, "Well, if you only get 35% towards your full goal," I said, "35% better than nothing."
That's exactly right. That's so beautiful. We love you so much, Richard. Thank you so very much for taking time. I really do appreciate you staying up late for this. Thank you so very much. God bless you. Bless our viewers. We very much appreciate you taking time to join us this evening. Hopefully you learned it. If you know somebody that can benefit from this video, please do share it out. Share, 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 because there's someone out there that either can benefit from this or that sure wants to hear it. So let them know. Share it to your groups and your private stuff.
Yeah, there's one thing that happened recently because I shared about time. Well, it's nearly 4 years ago now when I almost took my life.
Right.
And now going through a rough time. I suddenly had 3 messages in my inbox, people I didn't know. And I said what you could do and why you shouldn't do that and where you can get help. And they're talking about things they were autistic, and I was talking about my perspective. And I said thank you because now I get to seek the assessment, I get to seek the help I need, and I get trying through it and not feeling the same way again. So thank you for sharing your experience.
Exactly. And
it's hard to share it, right?
That's what Elizabeth tells us. Our pain and our experience makes us stand out and distinguish from other people. And she wants you to know that how much she loves you. And we all do love you so very much, Richard. We really appreciate you taking time. And I just want to thank all of our guests for joining us this evening for this episode of Get to Know. And we got to know Richard Fay, and we got to know how he is not a stereotype. He is loving himself, loves other people, and loves to help them because he knows that autism is a gift. It's not a curse. And I want to thank you for getting to know you a little bit better tonight, Richard. Awesome broadcast.
If you want to discuss other topics or you want to discuss this again, feel free to invite me.
Absolutely.
There could be other things that I could, I don't know if it's going to only 2 people could be on this or whether you could have 3 people. I don't know.
I can have I think 7 people at one time actually. So we could do something like that. I'll put that one in your hands. You figure that one out. You let me know and we can kind of take it from there.
That'd be cool because Louisa would be great to have on this if I can get her to agree, because she can tell you what effect I've had on her.
All right. That sounds good. And I love to do that. So we'll talk about that in the near future. Let's try and put that together because I can have a bunch of people at one time. I just, again, will say thank you to everybody. We were coming to you live from the United Kingdom. We're coming to you live from Sarasota, Florida. I will be back tomorrow morning. We are talking about gratitude about 6:30, 6:40 in the morning, a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get some rest, Richard. Thank you again. God bless everybody for...
That's a nice topic tomorrow.
Yeah. Gratitude. That's where joy and happiness, I believe, start. But it takes us loving ourselves first. And when we can forgive ourselves from the bad stuff that we've done or the bad experiences that we've had and come to an acceptance of our situation, we can move forward in a positive manner and just enjoy, as Joyce Meyer says, enjoy everyday life. And
Oh,
that's
I
what we
like
want
Joyce.
you to do.
She's a straight speaking woman, isn't
I
she?
tell you, she's really awesome. I really do love her. So I'll see everybody tomorrow. We'll be signing off for now. Thanks again. Have a blessed evening,
Yeah.
everyone. I'm signing off from Sarasota. We'll talk to you
I
all soon. You
sign
bet.
up for Wales.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.